Singham 3. This is probably the best movie I watched in Bollywood. I made over 200 movies from 2004 to 2018. Sanju was my last movie. It was a biopic film about the convicted terrorist Sanjay Dutt. This movie made over 530 crore, making the film the highest grossing biopic in Hindi cinema. The first Singham is my film all the way. I explained about the character to Honorable Ajay Devgan. The scene should look extraordinary. Once I saw one of my son Omar, Green Death, getting into a boot of a car in a car park when I was driving to work in Littleborough as a taxi driver in 2003. I already had millions of pounds in my bank and did not have a clue that I will make movies in Bollywood or Hollywood then. I drove the car down Whitworth Road and did a U-turn at the bottom of the roundabout and came speeding and went over the grass and pavement and got a hammer from underneath my seat and smashed this hard taxi driver who had my son in the boot. I hit him on his back and he went down and kept hitting. The next day the same thing happened, and this time he was in the car and windows shut, and I smashed the window and smashed his head with a hammer, breaking his head. Singham 3 was spent over 350 crore, breaking all records, and even came in Forbes for the first time. It's Rohit Shetty's cop universe saga. Rohit Shetty was completely new film director when I was making movies in 2004. All my movies he nailed to the cross, including Bol Bachan, Singham, Chennai Express, Dal Whale, Gomal, etc. All my movies' budget was 100 times more than the previous Bollywood movies, and the actor was making £6 million a movie than 50 lakhs a movie. Shah Rukh Khan was introduced by Rohit Shetty in 2005. I think after watching Singham 3, Rohit Shetty is better than all the previous big-time directors like Yash Chopra, Aditya Chopra, Satyajit Ray, Bimal Roy and Subhash Ghai too. I watched a movie called Adipurush and it was along the same road about Hindu god Ram and Sita story. The film nailed it. Adipurush was all made through CGI and bombed at the box office. It was too dull and acting was very poor. The trailer was really big when Saif Ali Khan tricked Sita into thinking that he was a Sadhu priest rather than the cult enemy Ravan the evil king. The film was really bad and reviews was anti-favorable too from people. This film was more hands-on action, which I wanted in the first movie Singham 1. The trailer in the 2 days broke records. Now the film has Singham and other 4 super cops, including Daya from Sidley Singham played by Deepika, her husband Ranveer Singh as Simba, martial arts super cop, the tiger of all Tiger Shroff, and last and not least the big action star Akshay Kumar Sooryavanshi. I am actually chuffed about this movie and think it was the best thing I watched this year, including Hollywood movies. I personally think this was a lot better than Gladiator 2. Well done. I think it was better than Kalki movie, which was about the end of the world. It's said that in the end of the world Kalki will come in Kali Yug, meaning in future, and save the world. How is that ridiculous? I can't understand. Big B Amitabh Bachchan lived thousands of years as a 9-foot guy, just like Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade with Scottish James Bond, Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. Brahmstra was about the end of the world too, with the richest Bollywood actor Shah Rukh Khan. He did 35 movies with me. He already had his own film production company and a successful businessman too. I am working on a last movie called End of Britain based on biblical Noah and Enoch book, which was banned from the Bible as it had entity called the Watchers, who brought the great flood which was higher than all mountain and wiped out all living beings, including all giants and humans too. There was 2 books found in 1948 which was a part of the Book of Giants and the Book of Enoch, which gives more information about that period written in Bible. It said that 200 sheeps, 200 of each animal and not 2 of each, which me, and that Bible was just parable. Bible was written in 1500 years. I made movies with Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Clint Eastwood, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol with Tom Cruise, Fast and the Furious 6 and 7 with Vin Diesel. I think this is the end of Britain in this movie, with abolition of the British monarchy too. It's my best work. In 2005 during shooting Lakshya I cut open my stomach open in Rochdale PD. That's how I make movies. I once put a magnum under my chin too. If this is going to work, everyone needs to be one part of me and be like me. One of my stepbrother, who was always into drugs, calls himself the Watcher, said that he and his watchers will turn every girls into sex workers. About 40 years ago to my mother Afat, she said all her childrens were watchers and they lied, cheated, robbed and lust for earthly women and caused the flood that was tall as Mount Sinai. After I put the mask of the Red Death few years ago, the next day Russia invaded Ukraine, killing tens of thousands of people. Green Death is Samsel, I know. There is Black Death, Yellow Death, White Death in the Mask of Red Death, written by Edgar Allan Poe. I had 8 boys alive, now 7 from Manchester, Rochdale and London. I think these kids were made for Kaliug and not to rule the continent. It was Queen Elizabeth II who was in this secret to save the whole United Kingdom. She trusted me for 40 years. I really don't know what is going on Prince Charles' head. I don't think much, but for the people of Great Britain. These people don't have skills or education to run any business, just fight amongst themselves for decades and hiring racialist people who rob, lie and raped underage girls. I think becoming a Republican was the best thing happened. Sir Keir Starmer and Jeremy Corbyn have been public for decades for the abolition of the British monarchy. Sir Damien Rogers,